Hi everyone. So today I just want to show you a simple little trick for Valentine's Day, how to wrap up a single rose in cellophane. So obviously what you'll need is a single rose. And what I would recommend is to remove any foliage that's below the bottom of the stem. Normally what foliage would be below the waterline is a good idea to remove. And I like to include a little bit of bear grass when I'm doing single roses, rather than adding in gyp, which I find can kind of be bulky in one spot. But tree fern is something else that would work out and is quite suitable. So just get a small amount of of bear grass. And what you can do then is just wrap the bear grass maybe around the rose a little bit on either side, like nothing fancy. I'm not saying necessarily the back or necessarily the front. And what you can then do is pinch the ends of it and maybe attach it together with either a little piece of twine, or what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a little bit of kind of like tulle, as we'd call it, or tulle. So I just have it cut into small pieces here. I'm just going to grab a piece of it and basically just tie a double knot around the bottom of the stem. Now if you do have any questions regarding this video, feel free to contact me here at the school. My email address is info@flowerschoolireland.com. So I'm just tying the tulle just into a simple knot. I'm cutting the ends, but I'm allowing the raw ends to show, just to keep all our ends together. What I like to do then is just include this into a water vial, a water tube, and that's just to keep it fresh. So I'm just going to trim the ends just a little bit shorter, and I do have a water vial already here. It's already filled with water, has the little lid on it. I'm going to squeeze in the ends of the bear grass and the rose stem and just insert it, just make sure the water doesn't come up on top of me, insert it down into the tube. So our next thing then is to get the cellophane ready. So what you need is one of these larger rolls of cellophane, in saying that you would manage with one of the shorter rolls as well. The best thing to do is open out your cellophane and cut the cellophane approximately the length of the rose. You needn't measure it, but I was to get the rose there, as you can see, approximately the length of the rose. So using your scissors, a nice sharp scissors, just cut across. This is a flower scissors, so it just slides across the cellophane really easy. I'm just going to push that out of the way. When you get experienced, when you're making these single roses, it is possible to now cut this piece of cellophane into 3 separate pieces and wrap 3 individual roses. When you're only starting off, you're probably cutting it a little bit tight to try and work with the third of the cellophane. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit larger than the third, just to kind of show you the tricks. So as I said, normally I would get 3 pieces out of that one piece. So this piece of cellophane, it's not exactly perfect. You know that way, the table is a little bit damp here, so there's probably a little bit of water on it. Make sure your table is nice and dry. Just when I filled the water vial that time, a little bit spilled. So it's a rectangle piece of cellophane. And when I'm explaining this to my students, just going to dry the table off there a little bit. When I'm explaining this to my students, I often say to them, try and imagine that this rectangle piece of cellophane is your double bed. And if there's 2 people sleeping in the double bed, you probably normally lie side by side. But if you're like myself and you have the double bed on your own, like himself or herself has gone away, do you ever put your head on one pillow and lie your legs right across the bed to the other side? And if you're like myself and you feel a little bit hot, you stick your feet out under the duvet. Hopefully I'm not the only one out there that does that. So try and imagine this piece of cellophane as being your double bed. And what you're going to do is lay your rose up in one corner as if you were putting it on the pillow. But don't bang your head against the headboards, like bring it back a little bit. And then the water vial, allow that to hang off the opposite side of the cellophane as if it was your feet, as I said, stuck out under the duvet. So I'm just going to position the rose in place here. I'm just going to move these around. There we go. So on the near side to me, I have a small triangle piece of cellophane, and on the opposite side, I have a larger triangle piece of cellophane. And as I said, the water vial is coming off the end here. I'm a right-handed person. Remember, you're looking at this from the opposite side. With my right hand, I hold the water vial and I kind of catch the cellophane close to the water vial. With my left hand, this triangle cellophane, I'm going to wrap this around the rose. So it's as if you were getting your duvet cover and you were bringing it across your head and tucking it around you to keep you nice and warm. I'm obsessed with the bed here today. So you get your piece of cellophane, you wrap it around the rose and tuck it in underneath as if you tucked it in around under your head to keep you nice and warm. And then you get your cellophane and you give it a little roll, and you can continue to roll it on the table, or you can take it up in the air and you can just kind of secure the cellophane around it. Now the best way to secure the cellophane around it is to get the sellotape. So I just need to get the sellotape. Maybe Deirdre, you might pass that over to me. It's just up the top of the table there. Sorry, I should have had this close to me. So what I'm going to do with a smaller little piece of cellophane is I'm just going to secure the cellophane at the end there just to hold it in place. Now what you might like to do then is decorate this with some florist ribbon. So just using our cheap florist ribbon, our paper ribbon, I'm going to measure out approximately that length, a little bit longer than your rose, and you can choose to use any colour. You can tear this ribbon into any width at all. I'm going to go for approximately 1/4. So this, as you can see, this ribbon tears real easy. On one end of the ribbon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it along the water vial, slightly angled, and secure it with a little piece of tape there just to hold it. Oops, daisies, just catching my own nail there when I did that. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist the flower, and as you can see, the ribbon will go around itself. What you don't do is twist the ribbon. So twist the flower and allow the ribbon to wrap around the rose, kind of like slightly spiraled. And then when you get up to the top, if you happen to be a flower shop, we're a flower school, if you happen to be a flower shop, you probably have little stickers with the name of your shop, maybe your shop logo. So you could use a little sticker just to secure that piece of ribbon in place, and it's a little bit of advertisement for you, and you're showing your branding off. For anybody else then, the piece of ribbon, the spare piece of ribbon that's left over, you could use the blade of your scissors and you can curl it. A sharp knife will do the same job. Excuse the noise here. And if you want to make it extra curly, go over it a second time. And then using your sharp nails, as I said, mine are false. So your sharp nails there is you can just tear that as thin or as fancy as you want, just to give these little ringlets coming out at the top of it. What you could also do is you could make a little bow then to secure it at the end. So maybe using our little bit of tulle or organza, you could get a little strip of ribbon. We'll just cut that there. And what I'm doing is when I'm making this bow, it's as if I was making a collar bow, as if I'm wrapping it around somebody's neck. I'm grabbing the back of the bow and I'm bringing it in level to the front. And I do have videos all on my blog on the website, which is flowerschoolisland.com, and it's showing you in detail how to make all the different style bows. I'm now just tearing a thin piece of the florist ribbon, which I'm going to secure around the centre of our little collar bow, and just tying a double knot here at the back. The bows can be a little bit tricky, it's just practice, but this one here is actually not too hard, you know what I mean, it's not too hard to make. I often describe it as if you were wrapping a scarf or a tie around somebody's neck and crossing it under their chin. So then what you can do is you can cut the two tails of the bow a little bit shorter. I'm just cutting straight across. You can cut that really fancy, and with the organza or the tulle then you can open that out a little bit wider. So using the two little thin pieces of ribbon, I'm just going to secure this at the bottom of the single rose, just above the vial, just tying a double knot, and then I'm going to cut off the little strings that's left over. You could use your florist ribbon, and you could make a cheaper bow if you preferred, and the florist ribbon is available in most flower shops, or again, if you're a flower shop watching, you probably have this in stock. Again, if you preferred, you could curl that ribbon like the way I curled it at the top, but I'm going to cut it off altogether. So there's our single rose. Excuse the cellophanes after getting wet. My table is wet here, my worktop. So there's your single rose, wrapped up in cellophane, quite inexpensive to make up, and it's an ideal way to present a single rose if you're trying to keep it that little bit cheaper for Valentine's Day or a special occasion. For anybody who's watching that does weddings, this would also do at what would be called the peace rose. So normally in a religious ceremony, if they're having what we call the sign of peace, sometimes the couple themselves would present parents or both sets of parents with a single rose. So maybe this could be a white rose and you could have it decorated with an ivory or white ribbon. Again, if you have any questions, email me here at the school at info@flowerschoolisland.com. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give me the thumbs up, and I would really appreciate if you shared it. Thanks a million for watching.